And this ain't financial advice. So this video is going to be a little bit different. This is a story about how I screwed up my credit and then fixed it. You see, I never really had any issues with my credit because I never really used that much of it. Back in 2018, I probably had a credit card built since I was 18, and I'd always just paid my bill on time every month. I didn't carry a balance, and my credit score was always in the 750 range. And you don't really think too much about your credit score when it's always good. Nobody ever really taught me anything about my credit score. And unfortunately, this is something that I had to learn on my own. And I would say I had to learn it the hard way. I wish somebody had broken this stuff down for me. So what happened? 2018, good credit history, good payment history. I was living out in California and I decided that it was time for a career change. And I moved from Los Angeles to New York City. Well, there was a 3-month layover period there. And I, unfortunately, didn't have the income that I had in Los Angeles, and I maxed out my credit card. Well, I did not realize. I figured, hey, if there was a $20,000 limit on the card, you can just spend that money and you'll pay it back. You might have to pay a little bit of interest on it, and everything will be fine. Wrong. So I maxed out the card, and unfortunately, the credit score went. I don't know if you guys saw the BitConnect dump back in 2017 on CoinMarketCap. That's what my credit did. It went from around a 750 to 550 maybe. It was shocking because it happened very, very fast. And what the credit bureaus were seeing was an excessively high utilization. And that brings me to my first point. Credit card utilization is very important. The credit bureaus want to see less than 30% of the credit that you're allowed. So if you have a $20,000 limit, okay, and you spend 10% of that is $2,000 times 3 is $6,000, doing my on-camera math like a pro. That means you should not go above a $6,000 limit with a $6,000 spending with a $20,000 limit, because that's 30%. If you're actually under 10%, they look at you even more favorably. And if you're actually under 3%, they look at you even more favorably. So if you can get those balances down, that's one way to increase your credit score. So the story doesn't end there. So my credit got really messed up, and I paid off my balances, and it slowly kind of ticked up. And I'd always been good with the payment history. That makes up, I think, about 30% of your credit scoring. So you have to pay your bill every month. If you let those bills override, that will not look good for your payment history. And it takes 7 years to get things off your credit scores. Now, this stuff may change in the future because there's been a lot of talk about the credit scoring system changing in the United States. But right now, this is currently what it is. So I was paying it off. And I'm like, I kind of became obsessed with my credit score. I'm like, how do I fix this? Why can't I get it like above 720? It was stuck. And I ended up talking to this real estate agent at the time, and he recommended that I go with a company called Home Loans Assist. Mistake. Oh my God. I got on the phone with the sales rep over there at Home Loans Assist, and they talked me into their program. I think it was like $89 a month. And this is like, at this point, I've been working on my score for a while. This was like beginning of 2020. So I've been working on it for like 2 years. And I get on this Home Loans Assist for $89 a month, and they never could do anything. They could never help me. And it was all because of the coronavirus. And they had to charge me $89 a month, and they were waiting to hear back. And it was all just a bunch of bull. And I feel really bad because I got my friend to sign up for Home Loans Assist, who somehow had a worse credit score than me. I didn't know that was possible at the time. And they started billing him $89 a month. And this went on for about 6 months. And we're like, oh my God, like these people haven't removed any of these they're like claims. They get sent to like debt collectors, and basically they were never able to get anything off. They said that they would argue for us and advocate for you, and they never did a damn thing. We ended up both paying, I don't know, $500 a pop for nothing. So be very careful with these companies that say that they'll help you fix your credit score. And the screwed up part was that, they want to bill what they signed me up for was that they wanted to bill me like an extra month, and it becomes like a gym membership where they end up holding you somewhat hostage, where it's like, hey, if you don't pay our last bill, we're going to screw up your credit score. It's like, oh my God, you didn't take anything off and now you're holding me hostage for another $90 bill on my credit score. So my friend called me up one day and he was like, dude, why did you get me to sign up for this thing? They've done nothing for me. I unfortunately I just ended up paying the debt collectors and waiting for those remarks to be removed from my credit history. They're technically still on there, but there's no debts that are unpaid. That was my choice. You can argue them and you can get them removed. You can write like a letter to the bureaus to try to get them removed. But that has varying success from what I understand. Another thing that you're able to do is you can piggyback on somebody else's credit card. This can help boost your score over 100 points. So if you know somebody who has really good credit, like mom, dad, uncle, sister, and they have great credit and your credit's a little messed up, you can get put on their card as an authorized user. When you're an authorized user on their card, it piggybacks on their credit. And within a month or two, it can jump your credit score up over 100 points. So you want to get that utilization down low. And if you're able to piggyback on somebody else's score, that can jump it up another 100 points. And the other thing that I mentioned was credit payment history. Okay, so you want to always make sure you pay your bill every single month, because those are the three main factors that the credit bureaus look at: utilization, payment history, and also if you can piggyback on somebody else's scoring history, that can increase your own credit score. So I came up with, I was working on the boat one day, and my friend's like, man, these people are ridiculous. They keep billing me. I finally canceled it. And what I did was, this is such a bad prank. I hired a prank call person on Fiverr, and I had them call my friend, and after he had canceled, and say, hey, congratulations. We just want to congratulate you for upgrading to our premium service. And I had them record the call.
And if you charge my fucking card a single dollar, I will personally come to your fucking door and rip you out of your fucking house and beat the shit out of you. You understand what that means?
Folks, the best thing that I can recommend is to spread this information with people who don't know it about credit card utilization, piggybacking, and payment history, especially when you're young, because this is one of the things that really bothers me with the schooling system these days. They don't teach kids anything about financial education, financial literacy, but yet you sit through an anthropology course dissecting a rat, but then you don't know anything about credit cards, how to use credit cards properly and responsibly. You go mess your credit up, and then that affects things. I mean, I heard 1 out of 3 companies look at your credit score. Okay, credit scores they affect what car you can drive. They affect what home or apartment you're able to rent. They affect a lot of areas of our lives, and they teach us nothing about that in school. Folks, I appreciate you tuning in. I hope this little snippet and story from my life was helpful. If you didn't know much about credit scores, maybe not for everybody, but for some of you for sure. I hope you have a wonderful day, and if I don't see you, I'll see you on the internet. I'm out.